Time to get buzzed. Howard Bender, a.k.a. Roto Buzz Guy, is here to help you get through Thursday on Getting Buzzed. And now, please welcome to the virtual stage, Mr. Howard Bender.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Getting Buzzed. I'm Howard Bender. Thank you so much for joining us here today with an intro like that. How could I even not smile at that one here? So I thank everybody in here for joining us for the return of Getting Buzzed. Maybe some of you during our pandemic times remember this show kind of debuted a few years back. It went onto the shelf, and well, I'll tell you what, I needed it back. I needed it back for my soul. Why? I need to have some fun again. I really do. That's first and foremost here with this show. This show is all about having a great time, all right? They say that if you love what you do, then you'll never work a day in your life. I call bullshit on that immediately, all right? Sports doesn't sleep, all right? It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It is an absolute grind. Everybody says they want to get into the sports world. They don't really understand that it's just nonstop. Listen, content creation, staying a step ahead of the competition, all right, keeping it fun, interesting, that's work, people. That takes work. That takes effort. Being creative, promoting yourself, staying active in this soul-sucking world that we call the internet, all right, keeping people's spirits up, battling trolls, fighting off, becoming a dinosaur, while teaching the next generation that doing this is more than just engagement farming, crappy hot takes, and spouting off stouts that you don't understand. All right, this is work. And you know what? I've realized in my 20 years, I'm pretty damn good at it. All right. But through all of this, listen, I've met some amazing people. I've done some amazing things. And I've had a lot, just an absolute blast over these last 2 decades. So for me, that's what this show is all about. It's time to have some fun again. Give all of you guys a little piece of me. We'll be talking sports. We're going to be making some jokes, right? We're going to have a lot of sarcasm, got music, and you know what? Above everything else, some goddamn fun. Before we continue here on, I've got to bring in my ride or die here on Getting Buzzed. My producer extraordinaire, the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. I don't even know any of the Robin to my Batman. Adam Bernard at Pucking Thoughts on the old Twitter machine. Oh, look, the crowd loves you already. Adam, dude, you're the man. This show would not be here without you. And I thank you so much for helping me out with all of this.
Oh, it's been a pleasure to get ready for this here. We've known this show is coming for a little while, but last week found out we're actually going to relaunch it this week. So it's been fun planning it out with game shows and guests, and we're gonna have a real good time here every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. For the 2 guys who work the show, we live on Pacific time, so we might talk Pacific from time to time.
The irony of doing a show called Getting Buzzed while it's at 10 o'clock in the morning for us. I got a trusty bottle of water. I got the little Red Bull.
You don't know,
dude. What is that mug? What
New York Jets mug?
That's just atrocious looking.
It was a gift from my father-in-law.
Does that make the coffee taste even more bitter?
Yeah, if I was ready, I could have had the rim shot there, but I was putting the mug back down. But yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you. I'll be playing the room all evening, or at least for the next hour. Guys, we've got a great debut show for you here today. Very excited about my guest today. You guys know him from Phish Radio, from Dave Matthews Band Radio, from SiriusXM Jam On. Ari Fink is going to join us a little later on. Ari, diehard football guy, right? You didn't know that. Fantasy football player. He and I, we together started up that Jam On Fantasy Football League that everybody's heard about throughout all my writing, throughout all SiriusXM stuff. So Ari's going to join us a little later, and then we've got a great little top 5 for you guys at the end of the show. Salty Howard seems to be somebody that a lot of people kind of dig on. I've heard it from people on the Twitter sphere that when Salty Howard's on the airwaves, well, it gets a little fun. So we're going to do that here today. No doubt about it. So like I said, I promised you sports. This is a sports network. Thank you to the Better Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm for helping make this a reality. And so let's get down to some of the news in sports. All right, I guess we got to kind of start things off here with running backs in the NFL. This is all the rage right now. Fantasy owners panicking in the streets. What to do about Saquon Barkley? What to do about Josh Jacobs? We already heard Saquon Barkley turn around and say that he can, can he tell the team to F off? Is he going to tell his teammates to F off? Is he going to hold out for the whole year and do that? Josh Jacobs been a little bit more on the silent side of things, but again, we already heard him pop off last year after his fifth-year option did not get picked up, and he watched that team run him into the ground. So here we are right now with two key components to their offense. And what are these teams going to do? The big problem here right now is that being a running back in the NFL, it's become a dirty, thankless job. This isn't like the old days, right? This isn't like the LaDainian Tomlinsons and the Sean Alexanders and the Terrell Davises where everybody and their grandma was celebrating running backs. Now it's dual backfields and ground and pound and get these guys, get in, use them while you can, and then get rid of them after that. And that's kind of a shame. It's definitely a shame. But like, what are we going to do about this? Running back franchise tag, which is what everybody's complaining about, roughly $10 million. That is the lowest of any position that isn't special teams. It's unbelievable. And you look at the numbers. I mean, it's really just kind of mind-boggling. What needs to happen is we need a renegotiation of the CBA, but that's not up until 2030. And you guys all know owners, they're so greedy. There's no way the owners are going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, let's renegotiate this, huh? Like, why would they give in right now? Is it for the good of the game? The owners are going to do that? Is it for the good of the players? Owners don't think like that. The owners think about the good of their pockets. And that's really the bottom line for everything. So running backs out there, I love it. Show some solidarity, tweet things out. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, everybody just jumping on this bandwagon. But I'll tell you what, if you guys want to fight back, then you have to take it to the extreme. That's what the NFL is doing, trying to keep gambling away from the players. They're suspending people for 6 games, not even betting on their own sport, just because they're placing a bet through their phone inside the team facility on a baseball game. But the NFL has turned around and said, we're taking a hardline stance here, and we are not going to budge. You get busted for gambling, well, guess what? That is an immediate 6-game suspension. Fines, everything that goes along with that. So if you running backs, you guys want to jump in there and start swinging at ownership, and you want to start making things happen, then you have to take it to the extreme in your own way. That means not only do guys like Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs have to hold out, but then their peers like Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott, they can't sign with those teams either. Solidarity in this economy? I doubt it. I mean, listen, I'm not saying do your job and shut up, but this is ridiculously selfish world in which we live. Everyone wants to get theirs. You either sacrifice yourself for the good of everybody. You got to stand up, be Norma Ray, fight that, with that union solidarity, everything that, you need. If you need to fight for what you want, you have to sacrifice yourself for everyone else's future. And you're at the mercy of the rich. And that's the problem right now here with the running backs. Can they come to an agreement? Will something happen? You hope it does. Fantasy owners hope they do. I'm not touching Saquon Barkley right now. Just listen, do I think that these guys are going to hold out? No, because we already saw the Le'Veon Bell disaster. And that was such an outright nightmare. Le'Veon Bell was a different story also because mentally he didn't even want to play. We knew that. He was much happier being a rap star down in South Florida than he was really thinking about getting in on some action here in the NFL. I don't think Saquon Barkley's like that. I don't think Josh Jacobs is like that. I think that these guys have paid their dues. I think these guys have worked hard, and these guys feel like they deserve money. So that's really what we've got. Oh, look, I'm seeing it in the chat already here. Shout out my boy Andrew Cooper. Pay that man his money. If I can do my best Teddy KGB impression, I can definitely do that. The last time I stick it in you. right? Isn't that the move that he did? Well, that's what's going on here with the running backs in the NFL. So, as a fantasy guy, I'll tell you folks this: I'm passing them. I'm not doing it. All things considered, talent level absolutely spectacular. I'll take Ramondre Stevenson over Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley at this point. I'll take a running back who I know is going to play, and that's really kind of where we're at. It's a shame. It's a damn shame, really, that we're going through this right now. But this is what has to happen. Running backs, you need to show some solidarity. The other players need to come together as well and rally around you. Can something get done? It's possible. Do the owners have any incentive to do it? No. So shut up, play the game. That's what they're telling you. It's upsetting. But that's probably what you're going to have to do. In other news, and we'll just stick with the football thing here. Why are we talking about Madden ratings when it comes to NFL players? That could be the most pathetic, stupid. I don't even want to blame Gen Z on this or Gen X. I don't even know what generation we could talk about that's done this. But Madden ratings have nothing to do with real life. Like, somebody please tell me what a video game rating has to do with the real world. What does your video game rating have to do sitting out there with your contract negotiations, right? I'm not talking about esports, all right? I'm talking real world. Like, your video game rating doesn't matter. It's not leverage in real life negotiations. You're getting paid for your name and your likeness already, so take that and run with it, all right? That's about as far as it goes. So somebody needs to tell Zach Martin, all right, and his agent to live in the real world, please, because this is turning into an absolute nightmare. You guys want to keep talking about the Madden curse? Go ahead, talk about the Madden curse. Do I believe in it? No, because I don't even know who the hell's on the cover of Madden anymore. I don't know who was on the cover of Madden last year or the year before that or the year before that. Do you know why? Because as much as I love some good superstition every once in a while, and I'll sit in the same seat while I'm watching the Jets play or lose for that matter, and make sure that I'm wearing the same shirt and the same jersey every time they win a game, like, that's fine. That's superstition. That's home superstition. Do I genuinely feel like I have any kind of an effect on what comes on during the game, what happens in the game because of my superstition? No, I don't. So anybody out there who's sitting there citing a 99 Madden rating, I mean, come on, let's face it. I was talking to my boy Andrew Cooper and my girl Britt Flynn on the Alarm Fantasy Football Show yesterday, and we all talked about this as well. I mean, it's likely Zach Martin's agent trying to just see if he can get a little something, because listen, if the running backs are all complaining about how little they're making, it's only a matter of time before the offensive line start chirping a little bit more about how much they should make. Incidentally, though, an offensive lineman, 18 mil is their franchise tag. So I don't think they have much complaining to do. It's probably more just Zach Martin telling his agent, you know what? I don't feel like going to camp right now. I'm hanging out on vacation. I got my feet dipped in the pool, and I just want to chill for another day or two. So yeah, go ahead. Tell them that my Madden rating is so high that I should be paid another couple of extra millions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. More news around sports. How about this? The Women's World Cup. It started today. Celebrate this, people. Australia beat Ireland. New Zealand beat Norway. Shaking my fist at Steve Pimentel for getting me all hyped up about Norway, but come on. Pretty much the home teams are on top for now. New Zealand, this wasn't a home game. It kind of is. I mean, you're right there. Australia, New Zealand, you guys are, kind of intertwined in a certain way there. But listen, I'm not a soccer guy. I don't pretend to be a soccer guy. I don't like the sport. I really don't. Both games this morning, was I getting up at 3:00 in the morning to sit and watch a 1-0 game? No, I wasn't. But what this does is, and what I want to make sure is a point here that I make, is that you guys need to support it. If you are a sports aficionado, you need to support women in sports. All right. We've talked about it here in the industry. Fantasy Alarm, helps sponsor the women of fantasy football. All right. We need to support women in sports. All right. It's out there. It's happening. And let's face it, the women's U.S. national team for soccer kicks ass. They're more exciting to watch than the men are. I got to be honest with you. All right. They're excited. They're 2-time World Cup champions. They're going for the first time ever a 3-time championship, like 3 in a row. That doesn't happen. So shout out to the Women's World Cup national team. Listen, again, I'm bringing this up here because it's about awareness. All right. We are a society of people who have so little self-awareness. I mean, listen, I could really like go off on an incredible tangent about the selfishness of society and how little self-awareness there is. So take a moment here and look at what's going on around you and help this out. This is a teaching moment. All right. This is a teaching moment for you. It's a teaching moment for me. It's a teaching moment for everybody. Celebrate women in sports. All right. Girl dads, stand up, promote women's sports to your kids. Everybody out there, make sure that happens. I'm telling you, it's definitely going to make us all a lot happier. In other sports here, I got to touch on the whole Shohei Ohtani thing and Major League Baseball. And listen, I think that Major League Baseball was in a transition period this year. Some people are going to complain about the rules, the new rules that they have. I don't think that they're a problem. I hate the ghost runner on second during extra innings. I think that's ridiculously stupid because you're putting the pitchers at a complete disadvantage, and we've seen that happen. You put that runner on second, the guy's pitching out of the stretch instead of the windup. It's a nightmare. But baseball overall, the games are quicker. They're getting more exciting. We had games the other night that are just absolutely unbelievable. MLB needs to market its superstars a lot better. And I think Shohei Ohtani is definitely the place to start. This guy, I'm not going to say he's a unicorn because I think that we're starting to overuse that phrase in sports as well. Shohei Ohtani is the best two-way player in Major League Baseball. And I'm going to say in the history of Major League Baseball. All right. Big man Babe Ruth, pioneer. Amazing. Not the best two-way player in the history of baseball. That's Shohei Ohtani. And what we need to see, all right, is bigger marketing of Shohei Ohtani. Now, maybe this is going to happen this year because Shohei Ohtani, we're waiting to see whether or not he's going to get traded by the Los Angeles Angels. I mean, which boggles my mind, by the way. It boggles my mind that we haven't had MLB market their superstars better. You had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout absolutely tearing it up before Trout got hurt. And you could have, you missed an incredible marketing moment. So really kind of disconcerting there. So now the question is what happens? Does Artie Moreno, owner of the Los Angeles Angels, does he give in? Does he sign Shohei Ohtani to a bigger contract? Does he trade him away? And if he does trade him away, where's he going to go? Shohei Ohtani obviously is going to land a ridiculous deal. $500 million? I don't know. Maybe, probably something like that. He's going to end up with a super deal for himself. But in order to get that marketing, he needs to go high profile. Needs to go to the Yankees. Needs to go to the Red Sox. Needs to go to the Dodgers. I'm not even going to say that he needs to go to the Mets because while the Mets will probably pay him a buttload of money, that team is second fiddle in New York, and they just don't get the respect that the New York Yankees do. So for the good of baseball, Shohei Ohtani definitely needs to land in a bigger marketplace. Now, listen, the Angels can trade him to whoever gives him the better package. That's fine. And if you're going to end up trading him to, let's say, an exciting club right now that has a deep farm system like the Cincinnati Reds, like the Baltimore Orioles, okay, fine. But there is little to no chance that those teams are going to be able to hold on to him. So they're basically mortgaging their future. Well, maybe not the Reds because their entire team is crazy, super young anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. But MLB definitely needs to step up their game in a major way, right? I think that's where we're at right now with the sports news. I want to just remind everybody out there because I have to do this. I have to give those promos. So, listen, I'll slide in some promos here because that's what I need to do. And that would be, let's talk about rtsports.com. and their pick'em contest and their fantasy football championship and their best ball championship. You go to rtsports.com/alarm and use that promo code alarm23 and you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $200 and use that to play these games. I'm telling you, the pick'em game, it's great. It's just, it's props. It's over, it's under, it's more, it's less. You do it for baseball, you do it for golf. When football starts up, we're going to be neck deep in all of that. Right now, also, what we are doing is that we have the best ball tournament, which $20 for an entry, and then it's a $25,000 grand prize. So you can jump in on that, make that happen for yourself. They also have for you folks out there want to throw a little more skin in the game, a little more action, try and get a little bit more bang for your buck. How about the $300 entry for the Fantasy Football Championship? All right, those are 12-team leagues. That what happens is that they've got the you win your 12-team league, you're automatically entered into the overall the grand prize, which is $500,000. But if you just win your 12-team league, boom, $1,000. Turn that 300 into 1,000. So go to rtsports.com/alarm. Use that promo code alarm23. Get yourself a 100% deposit match up to $200. Throw $200 in there. It matches $200. Boom. Not only do you have $300 to use for your best ball championship or for your fantasy championship, but then you also have a little bit of stake left over for some best ball action and some pick'em contests. So now that the business is out of the way, let's get to more fun here. And I got to bring in my guest. I'm so happy to have him in here. You guys know him. Oh, yeah, there's the music. From Phish Radio, from Dave Matthews Band Radio, ladies and gentlemen, I give you none other than the program director himself, Mr. Ari Fink. Ari, just applauding yourself here right now, dude.
You don't have a button for it, Howard, so I got to do it myself. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Dude, I'm so psyched to have you here. Listen, it's like the debut show here of Getting Buzzed, or at least, we're bringing it back from pandemic times. And I got to tell you, I thought that this was like the great vibe. You're not a major athlete. You're a fantasy player.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not since the old trick knee injury.
Not since the 10th grade, man.
But I thought this was great because, listen, you, me, this is like Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake. If Jimmy Fallon was slightly less funny and fat and Justin Timberlake was Jewish, right? I think that's kind of where you and I, we kind of vibe on that way.
I'll take it, man. I certainly will take it. Timberlake's a multi-hyphenate. I mean, the guy does a lot of things. And so I'm into it. I appreciate the comparison. I'll call you Jimmy if you want. Whatever you want to do, man. No, Howard's good. And it's a little early for Getting Buzzed, don't you think? I mean, as much of a fan as I am of a party, like, I want to deliver on the show's expectations, but we got a lot to do here. I got to be on the air for 9 hours later and yada, yada, yada.
Oh, come on. You had it yesterday, right? Rain came, the show got shortened for Phish, and then what? Then you just sat around and did nothing all night.
Yeah, something like that. And we've got a special guest star here in the studio, Harrison Fink, showing up.
Hello.
You're live, buddy. Yep, we are live all over the internet right now. That's Harrison, and he's going to ask me if I want to play basketball right now.
You want to play basketball?
I do, but we're gonna get out there in about 30 minutes, okay? Okay.
Well, hey, now that we got Harrison, listen,
Okay.
I haven't seen Harrison. Like, you've grown up at least since the last time that you and I talked. Last time you and I talked, dude, you were all in on the Marvel Universe. Are we still in on the Marvel Universe?
Nah.
50-50. Come over here. Get close to the mic. What's your latest obsession, Harrison?
Basketball.
Basketball.
We are all in on the Miami Heat, the Maryland Terrapins, college basketball team, NBA 2K23, classic teams, eras teams, decades teams, and slowly going through the history of the game via video games. It's awesome.
Via video games. All right. Listen, you know what though? You picked the wrong sport for me, Harrison. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a hoops guy. I can't.
He's a football expert and a baseball expert, but we like football too in this house.
Oh, so he likes football now?
Yeah, he does. He likes football a lot.
Who is the best football player ever to live so far?
who's the best football player ever to live so far? I got to shout it out to my man LaDainian Tomlinson. Right, it's a little old school for you, Harrison. No, who's your favorite football player then?
No, he is the best player. I'll give you some hints.
Okay.
He's won the Super Bowl 7 times.
7-time Super Bowl champion.
And been the league and been the MVP.
I don't really like the direction that this is taking right
He's
now.
not a fan.
He's
He's not a
done-
fan.
I'm a Jets fan here,
He's a
Harrison.
Jets fan. He's not a Patriots fan. And
This is kind of hurting me now.
this is how you get the hook, Harrison. You bring up
This is,
Tom
yeah,
Brady.
right. This is where's Lila? I'd rather talk to
Yeah,
Lila right
He's
now.
upstairs.
The kid doesn't like Marvel Universe anymore. He's all into basketball, and now he's talking Tom Brady in my house.
Well, you got to just roll with it, man. We were Buccaneers fans for a season, and now he's jumped on the Joe Burrow train. So we're Bengals fans, apparently, in addition to Washington Commanders fans in our house. But we'll see how the season goes. We like watching all the games. And thank you for joining us, buddy. I appreciate it. I'll be up in about
Just so you know,
last thing.
the Washington Wizards do not have the worst basketball team.
The worst all-time basketball team?
Yeah, they don't.
They don't? Who does?
They have
Who's the worst?
I don't know, but they have 4 90s players.
Okay, they have 4 players in the 90s.
Yeah.
Beal, Wes Unseld. I could name some later.
Are we getting video game ratings? Is that what I'm getting?
Yes,
I was literally just speaking out about why we're talking about Madden ratings for football players in real life right now.
But I will say this is how kids learn, okay? And I'm seeing it firsthand. And I didn't subscribe to it until this summer. And you know what? He's asking me about Dr. J, and he's asking me about Larry Bird and how great of a shooter he was, and da-da-da-da-da. So I think it can be used in the right in the right way.
Well, I will leave that to father and son.
Yes,
Who
leave it to
are-
us.
Who are 3 of the best half-court shooters?
Who are
Of
3
all time?
Dude,
Yeah, who can shoot half-court shots?
Half court, Harrison.
listen, Harrison, I'm gonna tell you a little
should
sad
have
fact
to.
about the way of the world right now.
Let him in.
I am under 6 feet tall, and I have no 3-point shot whatsoever. So the game of basketball has completely passed me by. I haven't watched basketball since 1985, my friend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? When it comes time for football season, Harrison, we'll come back and we can get into it. For now, I'll see you upstairs in like 30 minutes or so, okay?
Wait,
Go work on that. No. Last
what's
one.
the newest rivalry?
In what?
In what?
Football.
In football, the newest
Yeah.
NFL rivalry?
Yes,
The
Bills
new
Bengals.
the newest and what?
Bills Bengals.
Bills, Bengals, and whatever. There's one more.
Chiefs.
Bengals,
You want to throw
Chiefs.
the Chiefs in there?
Bengals, Chiefs.
Yep.
Bengals Chiefs.
The best receiver on the Bengals. He said who? Oh wait, what's the?
Mahomes.
He said who's Pat.
He did.
He said
did.
who's Pat.
And
Who's
Travis
that?
Kelce got a little bit upset about it. But Bernard King. Shout out to Jack Sensen in the comments. Absolutely. Yes, we will get there. And we're going to have you back on during football season. Go upstairs.
I
We
wanna
got work
play
to do.
basketball
I
now.
know you do. I'll
I
be
wanna
up in a
play
minute.
basketball.
Harrison, go. Work on your free throws. I'll be up there in 20 minutes,
I
30
just
minutes.
spent 30 minutes
Okay, keep
working.
shooting. Get 100 more shots up. Let's go.
That reminds me, I got to call my doctor and reschedule that vasectomy.
No, dude, get another one. Get 2.
Can you tie that in an extra knot for me, please?
Yeah, right. No,
Thank
it's
you.
fun. It's fun. It's the best.
I was
But
actually
he
going to
hogs
ask
the
you
mic
that.
though. Thing is, he hogs the mic. You can't once you hand it to him, he doesn't. You can't take it away from him. Which I love it. But
It's like father, like son.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well,
Well,
listen,
that-
I wanted to bring you in here. Wanted to introduce you to the other side of the world, the sports world here, because everybody hears us talking about the Jam on Fantasy Football League and on the Fantasy Alarm Show, and
Yep.
and I bring in all the guests and everything like that for that. So I wanted to kind of bring you in here and show everybody the crossover level here, because I know that. Oh, look,
Go ahead,
there's
Howard.
Lila.
Just roll with it.
One
this
of
is
these
Lila
kids
Fink.
going to say something good about a football or baseball for
Guys,
crying
Howard
out
and I have
loud.
to talk. You can be in the shot. You can make faces. You can do whatever you want, but we're gonna talk. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what happens.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this on Phish Radio next time.
They're on all the time. They're on once a week, twice a week. They're on whatever they do this all day when they're not busy. And so what's left to do but just put them on the air? They don't have a choice. They don't leave me a choice.
There's only a few things about me and Harrison that are different.
Okay.
It's that I love sugar and Harrison doesn't.
Okay.
She likes
I'm
candy.
a girl and Harrison's a boy.
Yeah, there's a few others. Okay, remember, you got to stay silent. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program.
The regular scheduled program is long gone, man. It's long
No,
gone.
come on. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's summer.
You've let the children take over here. Did you let them walk all over you in life?
I'm
Okay,
not
all right.
potty.
Here's what we're gonna do, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. Everybody get
Chicken
one.
bone.
Okay. Everyone get one silly face out, and then upstairs. Ready? On three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Silliest face. Okay. Now go. Now go upstairs. Go. I mean,
Chicken nuggets, boy.
Chicken nuggets.
okay. So there is a song called "Chicken Nugget Dreamland" by Perry Grip, which, if any parents are out there or otherwise, I recommend. I recommend wholeheartedly. But Howard was going to ask me about how I got here.
I was.
He was. And so let the man talk. It's his show, guys. Come on. You're not being nice.
Right.
You're not being nice.
I got Fatty McFats in the chat room telling me that seeing what I'm missing. I ain't missing none of this,
Hey,
people. I
that's
love everybody else's kids because I know that that's what goes on behind closed doors, and it doesn't happen in my world.
No. But you got beautiful dogs, and you got a good thing going on here. And it's midsummer. The Orioles just got into first place in the AL East last night. It's very exciting. As someone who grew up in Maryland, I'm stoked on the O's. And we're looking forward to the NFL. We got a big fantasy football season ahead of us, in addition to, of course, the regular season. And somebody behind me can't wait for the NBA to start back up and college basketball.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get them that Fantasy Alarm subscription. They can just start jumping into some fantasy basketball as well.
That's right.
Help bring home a title, right?
You guys better run.
All right. So let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about you here. Let's talk about because I brought you a nice little present.
You did? What is it?
I brought you a little present, but we'll get to that in a few moments here. I also want to play a little game with you. I want to do a little fantasy football dating game with you as well. So all sorts of fun stuff that we've got planned here. So number one, though, let's talk about your start here because you were in a band. Right. Before you were on SiriusXM, I want to know how that transition happened. I mean, obviously, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, well, the band wasn't going anywhere and we weren't going to be, headlining anytime soon. So, how'd the transition to SiriusXM happen?
I will tell you how it happened. So I was living in New York City and playing music and recording an album with my band and playing with a few other groups and recording other bands. All sort of like freelance and part-time and, day to day and week to week and month to month. And a friend of mine had started working in the finance department at Sirius Satellite Radio, pre-merger with XM. And he said, hey, we're actually launching a channel with the Grateful Dead channel, with the Grateful Dead. And I grew up listening. Buddy, this is not nice anymore. Can you please go upstairs? Thank you. I love you. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta tell it like it is. Such is life, going live. So they were about to launch a channel with the Grateful Dead, and they needed someone who could produce content for digital broadcasts from the Grateful Dead vaults. So someone who knew the music, who could work with the software, make edits, produce shows. And I didn't have experience in traditional broadcast radio, but I certainly had a lot of studio experience, audio editing experience. And so it was a part-time gig at first. And from there, I just kind of took on more and more responsibility and eventually started working on a channel called Jam On, which was new and old psychedelic rock bands. And from there, I started after that, another channel that was added to my plate was Pearl Jam Radio. I worked with Pearl Jam for a long time. And through our relationships on Jam On, we worked with Phish and Dave Matthews here and there to broadcast live shows and do specials. And so when the opportunity came to create channels with those bands, they asked me to jump in and work with them on creating their channels.
All right. So your band that you were in, were you a jam band, or was that the genre you were in?
No, it was a pretty straight ahead rock band. Harrison. Guys, this is not nice to Howard, okay? It's at a point where
there's a live programming here, baby. Live programming.
For you to do this. So please go upstairs, okay? That's the second time I've asked. Third time's not going to be so nice. Please, I love you guys. Go upstairs. They're not going to go upstairs. But I really hope they do. It's time for them to go. Howard's a busy man. So the band that I was playing was called ISO Band, ISOBAND, and it was sort of like a straight ahead modern rock band at the time, like the Killers, Coldplay ish, straight ahead. But we met at University of Maryland, and we certainly like played Dave covers a lot and Phish covers and Dead covers and had that side of it. But the record we were making was more straight ahead.
So all right. So the record you were making was more straight ahead, but you're still playing the covers there. So now you're sitting here, Phish Radio and Dave Matthews Band Radio. I mean, obviously 2 artists, the groups that you big influences on you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Not to put you on the spot, but I said it earlier here, it's like they say, if you love what you do, then you never work a day in your life. And I think that's crap, because I'm working my ass off and I love doing what I do. Does working with Phish, does working with Dave Matthews, does that become too much of a grind for you? If you're sitting there at home and you're putting on music, are you putting on Dave? Are you putting on Phish?
I am not. I put it on for work purposes, for QC, quality control purposes. I put it on. I listen to our live broadcast. It's often a blend of work that's fun. I'll listen, and I do listen to the channels when I'm driving and often, but my ear is not like listening the same way I listen to other artists that I don't work with in other genres. It's just a reflex of like, okay, how was that transition? And is that version of that song good enough for rotation? And how did the host present this information in a way that, made sense or didn't? And how can we, kind of work with them to improve things? What are the nuts and bolts of the radio stations as I'm listening to them? I do stream, like video stream Phish shows, and I'll listen to Dave for fun. But it's a different experience. I mean, I certainly love new music and I love discovering music that's new and old. And so that experience is very specific and very different. And my ears are attuned differently when I do it.
So what's it like for you, knowing that these are musical influences, these are bands that you've grown up with, to sit down interviewing Trey, interviewing Dave Matthews? I mean, listen, I see the interviews and I see the photos that, that you post. You guys look like you're having the best time in the world. I'm a little jealous that they might be your best friends more than me, but
no. They're not my best friends more than you, Howard. We've known each other much longer. We've had a longer working relationship, and we've had just as much, if not more, fun times. At this point, though, we're 5 years into full-time channels for both artists, and so there was a lot of work that has been done, and a lot of sessions, and a lot of hangs, and a lot of off-mic conversations. So that gets certainly, deepens the context of what we're talking about, and it's awesome. I mean, they're great guys. They're all really obviously brilliant and creative and fun and unique. And it does not get old, or it only gets better every time we sit down to work together. I mean, it's always different, like those guys certainly are not looking for the same conversation every time, just like they don't play the song the same way twice. And so I'm always learning from them, and it's a fun hang. I mean, Dave is a really funny dude, and so are the 4 guys in Phish in their own ways. As far as conversationalists go, they are all they're all just extremely unique, and you have to kind of just like approach it like you would be up to bat against very different pitchers. To make it a sports analogy, where you're seeing it's just a different flow and a different rhythm, and everyone's got their own things that they like to talk about and prefer to lean on. So learning that stuff has been really important, and I feel like has helped me quite a bit over the past 5 years.
Nice. Have you, one of the things I've always asked you since you started with Dave Matthews Band Radio, have you asked him about Coconut Smoochie yet?
I have not.
You know what Coconut Smoochie is?
It's the movie reference, right?
It is the movie reference. And you know what? Just to make sure, because you were like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I brought you here just this little clip.
Oh, he's got a clip.
How we settle ties in my house. It's something I like to call coconut smoochie. The object of the game is the coconut is in their midsections. It must move all the way up to their mouths without the use of their hands. If you touch the coconut, you are disqualified. Are you afraid?
I can't get it up here. I can't.
I'm dying. Would you be quiet?
Stay there.
Oh, yeah. Pick it up. Pick it up. Not with your hands, you buffoon.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing.
How Dave does this with a straight face.
Take it slow. Take it slow. He's got it.
You can't do that.
No, that's a clean pickup right there.
You got it to your mouth yet, Boo-Boo?
Look, stop putting your ass in my face.
We've got a winner. We have a winner. We have a winner. Awesome.
You suck at everything.
Now, how is that not a first question from you with Dave? I don't understand.
Well, first of all, I mean, we've talked about acting before. We've talked about plenty of things. That's certainly going to go on the list. Dave is a wily one. Like he's not afraid to really zag when you zig in a conversation. If he doesn't want to like necessarily address it, he's perfectly comfortable responding with something that is not at all related to the question, and he's very much in the moment. So it all depends on what's happening and what the context is and where we are and if he's comfortable and if it relates or maybe it's a good diversion. And so you got to I got to read the room, but it's on there, man. It's on the list. And that move is incredibly impressive. I don't think I could do it. There's no way to stage it. He obviously did pick that coconut up with his butt cheeks. So
did he though? Did he?
Or
special effects, CGI maybe?
No, I don't. That was 2005 or something. I don't
There's some
think
tape in there, some glue maybe.
I think it's impressive, and I will ask him, and I will report back, and I'll bring you the clip since you brought me that one.
Now, I don't know about Dave, whether or not he plays fantasy football, but obviously Trey Anastasio, diehard Jets fan, also plays fantasy football. In a league with Trey and his wife, they run a team together. Yes. All the football stuff here, all that, tell me about that. Trey with Bob Wischusen, Nick Mangle. Let's get in a little on the Jam on Fantasy Football talk here.
Yeah, that'd be great. So Howard came to me a billion years ago and he said, "Hey, Ari," this was when I was programming Jam on and working on the Grateful Dead channel and Pearl Jam Radio. And he said, "Ari, we should, I'm a host of Fantasy Sports Radio and we should create a league with all these guys. You can get some musicians and I'll get broadcasters who like jam bands." And I kind of went, okay, that's interesting. Let's see who we got. And quickly it turned into a brilliant idea from the jump. I mean, the interest on both sides was just overwhelming. And we got a great group of guys together. As you mentioned, Bob Wischusen, voice of the Jets, in the mix. Adam Zucker is in the league. We've got several other great broadcasters and writers. And as far as the musicians are concerned, we've got Mark Brownstein from the Disco Biscuits, Al from Mo. We've got George Geekus from the Revivalists playing in the league. Chris Kuroda, Phish's lighting designer. Who am I missing?
You're missing Ryan Stasek.
Ryan Stasek,
really upset with you for that.
No, it's fine. Ryan probably loved Chris a while steamrolling this conversation earlier. It turned into a really, really fun long running league. How many years are we? I
think we're going into our 8th year.
Eighth year. Wow. Well,
and you are the only 2-time champ. How's that feel?
It feels great. I got to tell you, it feels great, and it is great. And I'm looking at my 2 trophies right here, staring back at me.
This old thing?
Yeah, he's got one.
Right behind me.
One. It's a very competitive league. The thing we discovered is that musicians have a lot of time on their hands. And some of them, while they may, take part in very wholesome pursuits, need some sort of thing to sink their teeth into. And so I feel like we're doing everybody a favor by giving them an opportunity to have fun in a way that they're not going to break the bank on and potentially lose, down payments and years of college education and whatever else, because
they're just going to lose fan bases constantly having to hand you and me the trophy at set break every year.
It's once a year, and we have a great trophy ceremony. It's super fun. The bands are gracious enough to let us, whoever wins the league, pick the show they want to attend and be handed the trophy on stage in a ceremony. And it's a blast, man. It's highly competitive. The amount of smack talk is at a fever pitch and continues to be, which is always fun.
Always fun, no doubt about it. All right, well, as the two-time champion, you've got a lot to live up to. Like, what kind of football knowledge does Ari Fink really have? Like, is this the guy who was, texting me in the second or third year during the draft being like, who do I take? Or is this Ari Fink, the all knowledgeable? So with that, Ari, we're going to put you to the test. You ready to play a little bit of a game here?
Let's do it.
All right. This is going to be the fantasy football dating game. All right, Ari Fink, behind three doors. We've got three eligible bachelors here. I'm going to introduce each one of them to you. You have three questions, and then you get to you'll get the answers from the voice from above, my producer Adam Bernard, and then we'll see who you take. Are you ready?
I may be, but is there anything you can tell me about all three of these contestants first, just to set this up, or am I going in totally blind? Sporting leagues? Are we talking about past, present? I mean, set me up here.
Well, all right. Well, because it's a dating game, everybody's got to at least be the age of 18 or older, because we don't want you hooking up with anybody beyond that. So careers before 2005. I've also, because, I kind of figured you as a more of a music guy than a sports fan, well, I'm going to throw you your Washington Commanders. It's Washington football players through the years.
All right.
Because obviously the Commanders are only like 2 years old.
Yes.
And none of them play. I'll say this: none of them played for the football team.
Right. The football. No, but who we are referencing is the football in Washington.
That is correct.
All right, let's go.
So here you go. I'm going to introduce you your three bachelors. Listen closely, and then you get three questions. Bachelor number one was a 4-year letterman in college and seemed destined to be the next Steven Spielberg. But fate took its course, and this legendary man became a 15-year NFL veteran. He's the nicest guy in the world, dedicated to the kids and enjoying cuddling up in front of a warm fire, listening to some classic jazz standards. Bachelor number two has some bad boy in him. I know you like that. And could have been one of racing's greats, if not for this illustrious 11-year NFL career. If you're looking for some excitement, just hop into the passenger side of his F355 Ferrari Spider and let this football great drive you wild. Bachelor number three won't just dazzle you with his 10-year veteran career in the NFL, but this burgeoning restaurateur will wine you and dine you with some of the finest South Beach cuisine you could possibly find. If you've had a hard day, just come in, put your feet up, and settle into one of his classic signature martinis. Bachelor number one, bachelor number two, bachelor number three. Ari, you get 3 questions. Where do you want to go?
3 questions, and I can ask about all 3 or individually?
All 3 can answer the question.
Okay. Bachelors 1, 2, and 3. Have you won multiple Super Bowls?
Bachelors 1 and 3 have won multiple Super Bowls. Bachelor 2 has not.
Okay. 1 and 3 have won multiple Super Bowls. Bachelor 2 has not. Okay. Bachelor number 2. Have you ever recorded a sack?
Bachelor number 2 has not recorded a sack.
Okay.
One more question.
Then I get one more question.
One more. Probably want to ask all 3 of them the same question, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Bachelors 1, 2, and 3. Which one of you is responsible for generating the most touchdowns? Throwing, catching, running.
Career or in a season?
Career.
Okay, I need to pull that up on.
Gonna have to crunch some numbers.
No, I just need to get the Redskins.
Wasn't ready for the in-depth kind of career.
No, this is good. Let's
This is hard, Howard. I don't know.
Bachelor, let's see here.
I'm not keeping up with people. That's hard.
Bachelor number 1 has the most touchdowns.
And has won multiple Super Bowls.
Correct.
This is tough. So my first thought with 1, and can you read the blurbs again?
Oh, sure.
Let's
All right,
roll it back and read the blurbs, and then I'll dive in.
Bachelor number 1 was a 4-year letterman in college, seemed destined to be the next Steven Spielberg, graduated from the College of Visual Arts where he went. Fate took its course, legendary 15-year career, nicest guy in the world, and enjoys cuddling up listening to some classic jazz standards.
Nicest guy in the world, 15-year career, has won multiple Super Bowls. And I'm going to talk you through this because I have no idea.
You don't have to guess the player if you don't want to. You can just tell me which bachelor you prefer.
Oh, really? That's how this works?
Oh, really?
Oh, well, this is great. Okay. So that's 1. Film school. Read me 2 again?
2 is the bad boy who's got that F355 Ferrari Spider.
Yep. Okay.
And bachelor number 3 is the restaurateur.
Okay. So we got the nice guy, the bad boy race car driver, or the restaurateur. The Super Bowls are coming into play here, gang. Okay, because who doesn't want to be with a winner? I mean, that's who doesn't want to go kick it? And I do hear good things about Miami. So I'm tempted on that front. And the race car thing is cool, and the edge is cool for bachelor number 2. But multiple Super Bowls, nice guy listening to jazz, and a great reputation has me picking bachelor number 1.
All right. Bachelor number 1 is your choice. Adam Bernard, tell him who he didn't choose. Who's bachelor number 2?
Well, as you can see on the screen, there's some stats for the 3 bachelors. And bachelor number 2 that you did not select was Mr. Terry Allen. 1996 rushing touchdown leader.
Yep.
And number 3 was Mr. Gary Clark, one of the Redskin receivers or Washington receivers, excuse me.
Yes.
But you didn't miss out on a great Washington receiver because you got Art Monk.
Look at that.
Number 1.
Hey,
can't go wrong.
You know what? That's a beautiful thing. And I love Art. And obviously the posse, had a huge impact on my youth. I will say, however, that my all-time favorite member of the posse, not included in this, and not as highly regarded, and not as not as illustrious of a career. But Howard, can you tell us who the 3rd member of the posse was?
No,
you don't know. Ricky Sanders.
Ricky Sanders.
Touchdowns in the Super Bowl, dude. He lit it up. Telling you, not over the course of a career. Art Monk, of course, first down machine, right? And Gary Clark, deep threat, exciting. I understand it. By the way, the speed thing had me thinking of other classic Redskins, and I was going, okay, Darrell Green could be on this list. Dexter Manley was a bad boy. Thought you might throw Theismann in there somehow. But I'm happy with Art Monk. We're going to have a great life together.
I think you are going to have a wonderful life together. Well, Ari, I will let you go and play hoops with Harrison and feed some sugar to Lila and get those kids bouncing off the wall. I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the Getting Buzz show. Definitely hope to have you back again soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Howard. I'm looking forward to a great fantasy football season. Thank you for rolling with the punches and getting being flexible when getting video bombed by my 2 lovely offspring. I do very much appreciate it. And everybody can find me on Twitter at Finkerton, Instagram at Ari Daniel Fink, and hear me on Phish Radio often, Monday through Thursday, 3 to p.m. to midnight Eastern, and popping up on Dave Matthews Band Radio. We're going to be live tomorrow night in Camden, New Jersey, and I'm going to be kicking it with the guys in Dave Matthews Band before the show. So our pre-show starts at 6 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Channel 30.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. And we'll talk soon as we get that Jam on Fantasy Football draft scheduled in a timely fashion there.
Looking forward to it. Thanks to everybody. Howard, you're the man.
All right. Ari Fink, everybody. Phish Radio, Dave Matthews Band Radio at Finkerton on the old Twitter machine. Let's wrap things up here on the inaugural debut of Getting Buzzed with, something I wanted to do. It's, again, because people like Salty Howard. They love some friendly Howard, but Salty Howard's the best. So how about this? Top 5 franchises that need to win or shut the F up. Oh, I thought I had like a little rejoin on that, but I don't. So here you go. Number 5 on this list. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ugh. Last title was in 1966, 1967. They're an original 6 team. Just so horrible right now. They've been a top team in the last 5 years, and they just can't make it through the playoffs. Horrible, horrendous. Get it done, and your fans need to shut their mouths. Number 4 on this list, it's the New York Yankees. Yes, you guys can pull my New York fandom card here. I'm fine with that. But the Yankees, forget about the payroll. That's not it anymore. All right. The bottom line is the reason that this franchise is so atrocious right now is that the Steinbrenner kids got nothing on their old man and have no idea how to win in the modern era when daddy isn't around flashing his money. Another fan base that needs to be quiet until they start winning. Number 3 on my list here, it is the New York Jets. Whining about Hard Knocks attention, but you invited the circus when you brought in Aaron Rodgers, one of the thirstiest athletes of all time. From man buns to Nick Cage wannabe to being the only guy ever to do ayahuasca and come out less cool on the other side. Either win now, Rodgers, or go back into the darkness. Number 2 on this list, it is the New York Mets. Just a pathetic organization with a pathetic fan base. You're going to win every year in April, and you end up sucking in September all the time. Steve Cohen can throw all that money in the world at this team. You'll always be second best to the Yankees. So keep enjoying that inferiority complex you got there because it's never going to go away. And of course, the worst fan base and team of all time, that is the Dallas Cowboys. That's right. Jerry Jones is a disaster. Entitled fans who are clinging to the 90s. Nobody thinks that you're America's team but you. So enough already. You're not going to win. Stop yapping and just get on with it here. And that's going to do it for us here. I want to thank again Ari Fink for joining me. I want to thank Adam Bernard, my producer. Such a great job. This show is going to come on every Thursday. We're going to have a ton of fun. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate your comments in the chat. And you know what? If you're watching on YouTube or anything like that, smash that like and subscribe button here. And work with me on that. That's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzzed. Again, big thanks to all of you. I'm Howard Bender. Catch you next time.